If that comes up on day number 1, cut that out and try and cut it out for at least a month, if not 3 months, because that's a red flag. That's going to be causing you issues.
Hey, I'm Trav. Back in 2010, I got hit hard with chronic fatigue syndrome, only 6 months after starting my new personal training business. I've spent the last 8 years researching and experimenting with my body to help get back to my best and beyond. I'm now sharing my story and my strategies with you so you can get back to living the life you love.
Hey, Trav here, holistic health and lifestyle coach, helping you make your comeback. Now today, we're going to be talking about how to overcome chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia by identifying foods that cause inflammation. Now this is important because inflammation is a reaction or a warning sign that something's not quite right in your body. It could be inflammation in your digestive system, you could have inflammation in your joints, that sort of thing. Arthritis is one of those inflammation type things. They usually relate back to the gut and a problem in there. So here are 3 ways you can reduce inflammation. Number 1, stop eating the foods that are causing you inflammation. Now you already know a whole bunch of them because there are certain foods that you eat that make you feel worse, but a lot of the time they're your comfort foods. Now it could be chocolate, it could be bakery goods like pastries or pies or something like that. It could be ice cream, it could be some sort of sugar-based anything. But not just the unhealthy stuff, it could actually be healthier foods. It could be tomatoes, capsicum, nightshade vegetables. That's something that's affected me in the past before. It could be any kind of vegetable. It could be a starch, it could be a grain. Wheat is very common with people. Dairy is another one that's very common. So you already know that there are certain foods that don't agree with you. It's up to you to be able to have the discretion and take responsibility for your own health and say, you know what, I'm gonna push this stuff aside for a little while because I know it's not good for me. Now, if you can do that, you're going to feel a whole lot better. Now, we're going to talk a whole lot more about this process in step number 3. But like I said, you already know a whole bunch of them. You're not doing them yet. If you are, good work. But if you're not doing them yet, you don't even have to worry about number 3 for now. So pick those foods that make you feel worse, cut them out. Push them out for a little while. It doesn't mean they're out forever, but it does mean that they might not be in your best interests to be taking that right now. So number 2, let's start eating some foods that are going to help you ease the inflammation. So you've got foods like probiotics. Probiotics are going to help with your digestive system. Turmeric, you can get it in like a fresh form as the root, just like ginger, or you could get it in powdered form. You can get it in capsules and tablets and in drinks and all sorts of things these days. A turmeric latte, if that's what works for you, fantastic. It really doesn't matter, but that's another really good one. Berries, fatty fish, nuts, leafy greens, all of these things help to ease inflammation and make you feel better. So try and get more of that sort of thing into your diet as long as they're not reactive to you. So, if you have a nut allergy, don't put nuts in your diet. That would be crazy. Same goes with relating to the rest of the stuff. So, yeah, try and incorporate eating a lot more of that stuff into your diet and taking that other stuff out that you know causes you inflammation. That's going to make a huge difference into your overall health, well-being, energy, vitality, pain, all sorts of things. So let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is really going into the scientific process. And now we're talking about doing an elimination diet. I'm talking about an elimination diet for 3 to 4 weeks, done absolutely perfect, like no cheating, no cheat meals, no cheat anything. You are absolutely 100% all in on this elimination diet. Now, an elimination diet basically is eliminating a whole bunch of foods that are reactive, that cause inflammation, that are known to cause pain, that are more common to be problematic with people. Now, this could include stuff which we've already mentioned, dairy, grains, gluten-containing grains, stuff also like soy, different sauces, different types of vinegar. These things are all part of this elimination diet, things that we cut out for a certain amount of time. Now, why is it important to cut these things out? Well, firstly, remember point number one, stop eating foods that cause you inflammation. Well, that's going to be important. That's part of this elimination diet, cutting that stuff out and giving the digestive system time to rest and recover. And then we're going to eat more of the foods that are easing inflammation. What's in step number two? And then the beauty of the elimination diet is once you have done this for 3 to 4 weeks, which is generally the time that we go through this process, at the end you slowly reintroduce the foods to see if it reacts with you or not. So for example, let's say we've cut a whole bunch of things out and it's day 28, day 29 is tomorrow, we decide we're going to put one thing back in, one type of food to see if that's going to cause an issue. So grains are an easy one. Maybe you have porridge for breakfast, maybe you have bread at lunchtime, maybe you have pasta. If you have those things and you notice that all of a sudden you have pain in your stomach, you get foggy in your head, you get like really bad bloating and inflammation, and you just feel really uncomfortable, that's a sure sign that those grains are not a good idea for you. If that comes up on day number 1, cut that out and try and cut it out for at least a month, if not 3 months, because that's a red flag. That's going to be causing you issues. Now, if on day number 1 that happens, great. End that right there. I would cut that out and I would forget that, push it to the side, leave it for the next 3 months if you can. Then bring something else in. See if that's going to react. Now, you may need a little time for the inflammation of the first one to die down. So if you did that on day number 1, you might be okay for day number 2, bringing something new in, but you may need to rest. But let's say on day number 2 or number 3, you put some dairy in. Now, you bring dairy in the form of milk, possibly cream or cheese, that sort of thing. I will mention that butter, especially grass-fed organic butter, is non-reactive in most people from the research that I've done. I know that it doesn't affect me and a lot of the people that I work with. So butter is less of a concern, but cheese definitely is a concern. Milk is definitely a concern. If you bring those things in and you have some sort of a reaction, again, red flag, cut them out. Don't worry about them. Push them aside for 3 months or more if you can. And look, there are other alternatives here. So if dairy is one of those things that you really like, you may find that goat's cheese or goat's milk are less reactive and you can get away with those and you feel okay. But that still may cause issues. It is something you could try, but if it's causing inflammation and pain, you don't want to worry about that at all. So there's coconut milk, there's coconut yogurt. Those sorts of products are now fruit derived. So that's a whole lot of a different kettle of fish. You're not dealing with dairy. And if your body deals with that, great, you've got another alternative for that dairy replacement, I guess. So let's go dairy. Didn't work well with you, you cut that one out. So maybe we move on to day 4, 5, 6, somewhere on here, and we start to bring a few other things back. Now let's say, for example, that you actually suspected that you might react to nightshade vegetables like tomatoes and capsicum, just like I did. Maybe you bring those 2 foods in and you have them at lunch and dinner on that day. And you notice that there's a reaction there. Okay, again, red flag. If you don't notice that there's a reaction there, then that might be okay. So try and keep them in for the next 3 or 4 days, and if there's no problems, great. That's something that you can eat with knowing that it's not causing you a problem. Again, once you pass that and you know that that's okay, good, bring something else back in. Now, I know that I've had clients who have issues with coffee. They might cut coffee out for a certain amount of time, bring it back in, and notice how badly it drains their energy. Drains their energy, not give them energy. So that's something to be aware of. Again, sugar is a big one. You know that if you start having sugar, it could be reactive. Maybe you put that in some form. Maybe it's fruit of some description that you're eating. Maybe you're eating a lot of bananas. Maybe you're eating a lot of citrus fruits. You could bring something like that in and see how your body reacts to that too. And that's going to give you a great idea of what really works and what doesn't work. Now, the beauty of this elimination diet is really in this reintroduction phase. You've got to do the first phase where you cut everything out, but if you can take the time to perfect this reintroduction and actually test the things that are coming in and going out, then you're going to know for sure what's causing you issues. So if you do this for the next 3 or 4 weeks, and then move on and do this introductory phase for the next few weeks afterwards, you're going to have a list of foods that you know cause you inflammation and cause you a lot of pain. You're going to have a list of foods that feel good with your body, so you're going to be able to eat more of them and feel good more of the time. You're going to have reduced inflammation, you're going to have reduced bloating, you're probably going to have reduced gas, you're probably going to have reduced pain, you may have reduced skin issues. But hey, more energy, less pain, that's what we're all after really. So that's my challenge to you. If you can think about doing that for the next 3 to 4 weeks, fantastic. I know you're going to feel a whole lot better for it. If you like this and you want more tips like this, you can grab your free cheat sheet from conquerchronicfatigue.com. The link is in the description. You will get answers to the most common questions that I have been asked on how to recover from chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. Now, this took me years to put together. Tons of research, over $150,000 spent in my own recovery and research courses, all sorts of things to find the answers to these questions. I'm going to give them to you for free because I want to help you get back to your best. So, go make your comeback and we'll talk again soon.